Welcome to Today in Rocket Science. I'm Adam Balkin, and we are here at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, the crossroads of all things culture, from movies and music to tech and innovation. And we'll check out what's happening at this year's festival in a minute. But first,
in this episode, we'll bring you the latest on the 21st century's space race as NASA gears up for its manned Mars mission. And Scott Kelly feels the weight of gravity for the first time in a year as he returns to Earth after a year in space. Then in Washington, D.C., we check out one of the nation's oldest and most prestigious pre-college STEM competitions, the Intel Student Talent Search, where students get a shot at some serious cash prizes. And in New Jersey, students in an after-school drone club are using their technical know-how and their high-tech toys to do some good for their community. All part of Time Warner Cable's Connect a Million Minds initiative, aimed at connecting you to science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities in your community.
all right, now back to the latest from here at South by Southwest. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the week.
South by Southwest is a set of festivals and conferences with major focus on music, film, interactive media, education, and environment. It's gained a reputation as being a hotbed for new ideas and innovation, and rightfully so. Since its inception in 1987, South by Southwest has grown from around 700 attendees its first year to well over 200,000 people in attendance this year. Some of the highlights from the week: dogs on motorcycles to bring you phone chargers, cardboard castles you design online that are delivered to your door, and more drones than you can count zipping around the festival grounds.
Now, while the majority of South by Southwest is geared towards adults, in the week leading up to the festival, the focus is on education. Our Victoria Moranin checks out how some teachers are finding inspiration to bring back to their classrooms during South by Southwest EDU, and this lesson really is rocket science.
Educators spent this afternoon playing with sensors.
So you get the same words in the same position?
They also built their own. It doesn't look like much, but this tiny chip can launch science experiments to new heights.
We have the same sensors actually running in satellites in space, traveling 17,000 miles around Earth. So you work from learning about sensors in the classroom to doing Earth-observing experiments in space.
The workshop's instructor, Kevin Coco, says these sensors are placed on cube satellites, then attached to a rocket, which later deploys it to outer space. These tiny satellites can measure a rocket's altitude, direction, and speed upon launching. They can also be used to explore the Earth's magnetic field. Sounds like advanced science, but elementary school students can also join in the fun.
It allows our kids to facilitate different activities and experiments, allowing them to gather data.
Coco says talking about this new capability has become more exciting that astronaut Scott Kelly just came back after spending a year in space.
His ability to actually look down at Earth and kind of see it as a single organism, and we like to kind of extend that excitement into the classroom.
Excitement that these teachers will soon take home, hoping to inspire the next generation to one day reach for the stars. For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Victoria Moranin.
The teachers in that workshop aren't the only ones with their eyes on the sky. Astronaut Scott Kelly's year in space garnered international attention, and his return to Earth marks a great number of milestones for future space travel.
Year's a long time, I felt like I'd been up there my whole life.
A microgravity environment might seem like a gentle place, but the human body actually faces many challenges during a long-duration spaceflight. Tackling these challenges is crucial to NASA's next big mission of putting humans on Mars. While Kelly was on the space station, he regularly called home to give updates on how he was doing.
Some astronauts on long-duration space flights have had a degradation in their vision that is concerning. You wouldn't want some astronauts to get on Mars after a year and a half or longer, or when they're coming home and not be able to see. And then there's the more commonly discussed issues of bone loss and muscle loss that we have a pretty good handle on and understand how to mitigate those through exercise and diet.
During his mission, scientists on the ground monitored Kelly's health and compared it to that of his twin brother, Mark Kelly, here on Earth to discover ways to slow down and possibly prevent physical wear on astronauts' bodies.
I'm definitely encouraged on our ability to go even longer. I mean, I kind of, even though I look forward to coming home and there's things that I miss, I felt like if it was for the right reason, I clearly could have stayed, however long it took.
That's good news because NASA's wasting no time pushing the envelope of human spaceflight. On March 18th, astronaut Jeff Williams launched to the space station along with 2 Russian cosmonauts. If all goes to plan, Williams will surpass Kelly as the American record holder for cumulative time in space. He's set to reach 534 days total during his 6-month mission. NASA's also hoping to reach Mars sometime in the 2030s.
With NASA gearing up for a manned mission to Mars in the not-so-distant future, prepping the next generation of astronauts has never been so important. Rocco Vertuccio goes on a mission to Space Camp, where would-be spaceship captains are getting their space legs.
More than 300 high school students from across the globe recently traveled to Space Camp at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. The week-long program is organized in partnership with the Honeywell Leadership Challenge Academy. It's designed to teach leadership skills, as well as aerospace engineering and spaceflight training.
We did a lot of space, especially aerospace-oriented activities, from making rockets and shooting them off to mock shuttle missions.
I really liked going on the centrifuge, and I also liked where we got to simulate a space shuttle mission. I got to be the flight commander.
One of the goals of the program is to inspire these students to become the STEM leaders of tomorrow.
Honeywell wants to do its part in encouraging and making science, technology, and engineering and math interesting for kids to pursue STEM-related careers.
Beforehand, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but after, I was pretty sure I wanted to be an aerospace engineer, so I want to go to college for engineering. There's tons of jobs in STEM, but there aren't enough people to fill those jobs. So really exposing yourself to all that it has to offer is just kind of a way to step into the field and see what it's all about.
I've always wanted to do something involved with technology, either computer science or engineering, but I have more of a preference now. I'm probably aerospace engineering.
It taught me a lot about engineering and the work that goes into that. So I hadn't really thought about space much, but I think that'd be a cool field to go into.
The Honeywell Leadership Challenge Academy started in 2010. So far, it has awarded scholarships to 1,770 students to attend the week-long program. For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Rocco Vertuccio.
We do have to stop here for a quick break, but coming up.
What does it take to succeed in a career in the medical sciences? We'll meet students who are learning firsthand as they help patients in an emergency room simulation. Then we check out how just a bit of medical knowledge can help sculpt a better picture of victims of deadly crimes and even help catch the culprits. And later, an interest in the arts doesn't get you off the hook for a career in STEM. We'll explore some of the ways science, technology, engineering, and math are at play in the theater. To find hands-on science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities in your community, visit theconnectory.org, made possible by Time Warner Cable's Connect a Million Minds.